Ragers, this is Rage Quit. Like I said before, if you guys do not want to see this entire video, put it in parts if you would like. You guys will not be disappointed in this video. So, I know, I'm forgetting my sweater. I'm sorry. Right now it's actually dirty. I kind of got it dirty overnight. Right now it's in the washer. But I will make sure if I do anything tomorrow, I'll make it up to you guys. Because I did promise in this video I was going to wear the sweater. The blue sweater for Autism Awareness Month. But, like I said, it's in the washer. I'm truly sorry. I want to get this video done. Because tomorrow I have an interview for my next job that I'm going to have. Until my store opens back up. If it does. If anything, I might actually just stay where I'm going to go. So, this is going to be a good maybe 30 minutes, maybe 45. Maximum amount of time is going to be an hour. So, I do not want to put this in parts. I want to just do this all one clean video, no cuts. Nothing bad about it. So, first things first, I want to explain what I'm going to be talking about. So, the reason why I'm doing this video is to explain my history from when I first received the notice that I was autistic. The reason why I was considered autistic is put into the spectrum of autism is due to that when I was in school I actually don't remember the first year of middle school, or technically the grade of middle school. I believe it was 6th. I'm not sure, it was either 5th or 6th grade. Because you go from that to 9th grade. Well, technically 8th, and then 9th grade you go to high school. I don't remember how many years you're in middle school. It's been a long time already. So, when I was in middle school, I had so many issues to where I went from this place called Oneida Middle School. Once I went from elementary to middle school, I went to a school called Oneida. I'm trying to use what I have in my mind because middle school is kind of blurry due to that I had so many problems. But I will do my best. I'll absolutely do my best. I remember everything from high school on, but middle school is definitely really blurry. So I went from technically, hold on. I'm trying to have some music for you guys. Where was I? Oneida, I had so many problems. I was so bad with my temper that I was kicked out of there. I was actually kicked out of Oneida, knowing that they were not able to actually handle me in their school. So, from there, I was only there for about a year, I believe. I believe it was a year. I went through so many schools in middle school. I went from Oneida to Elmer. I went from Elmer, I was considered fat. I was called fat when I was like 12 years old. Yes, I was overweight. I was overweight when I was 12 years old. I'm sorry, gym teacher, but I'm hoping you got fired. Because you are not supposed to do that to anybody. And I mean anybody. You could say that to your freaking wife if you want. I don't even remember if you're a male or female. But whoever you are married to, I'm hoping they slapped the living crap out of you. Because you said that to somebody who was easily triggered. I'm glad I don't even remember the person because I would have hunted this guy or girl down and said something already. Because knowing that I completely forgot about that, and once I remembered that, I actually wanted to freaking hunt that person down. But knowing that the gym teacher called me fat when I was overweight, I actually was so disappointed in myself that I know this is technically bad. I should have died from this. But I actually did not eat for a good month. I was pretty much just hydrated. That was it. I was literally living off of hydration. I was only drinking stuff to keep me actually alive, knowing that I was trying to lose so much weight. Because when I did that, I was out of school. I believe it was about 2 weeks I was out of school because they had to find me somewhere else to go. So I went from there to this place called, what was it? It was called the Iroquois, I believe. No, it was called Yates. It was called Yates Magnet School. These are all schools that were next to each other. And then out of nowhere, I actually enjoyed myself a little bit because I lasted there for about 1.5 years. Mom, if I'm getting any of this wrong, just throw down the year, how long I was in each school in the comments, okay? If you're watching this. I'm pretty damn certain you wanted this to happen, or you wanted me to talk about this. So if I got any of the time frames wrong, guys, if my mother messages in the comments the actual length of all the schools I was up to this next school I'm talking about, check it out. It's absolutely insane. I actually did not enjoy most of these schools. I went from Iroquois Middle School. I lasted there until about... I wasn't even in the first few schools for even a year. So the first school in middle school I actually lasted a year. I'm pretty freaking certain was Yates Magnet, because they were there to help me as much as I could. But I kept getting worse. I just kept getting worse by the minute. I was just getting out of hand. And they had to send me from Yates Magnet to a whole nother school, and it crushed me because I really wanted to stay there. But then when my parents found this new school that absolutely loved to help people who had needs, and it was called Iroquois Middle School, and I absolutely loved it. I don't remember how long I was there, but I believe I was there for a good 1.5 years to at least 2 years. Because when I was there, it was the first time I actually had the help. And when I had the help, I actually got a chance to go to this room. It was probably... I wish I could give you a representation. It was like a rectangle, and it had padded walls, and I was able to punch the walls as much as I wanted to get my frustration out, and also all my anger I had built in. I was there probably every single day I was there. And Mrs. Peck, I wish you were watching me, because I really wish I could tell you how much I actually really miss you. Because it meant the world to me that the person I really wish I could go visit again from middle school was you. I really do. And it's just so difficult for me to even get a chance to see you. I actually feel like I want to cry after saying that. I literally have water in my eyes right now, and I wish I could just let it out, but I'm trying to record and not cry. It's an emotional time, but at the same time, it's not so emotional that I need to freaking cry about it. But when I was learning so much from when I was there, I met so many good friends, including my friend Eric. there was a person I just revisit. I just revisit this person when I was in Special Olympics. This year, I actually found my long lost friend, and it was amazing because seeing that person is getting so much help and was able to join a league in Special Olympics, including bowling. It was in freaking bowling, guys. Bowling is a sport that brings people together. I'm even wearing it right now. I got 99 problems, but bowling ain't one. I love bowling. It's absolutely amazing. I'm technically 21, and I've been bowling since I was at least 10 years old. It's amazing. I take all my frustration out that I had in school on the frickin' bowling pins. If you guys want to actually do something that's absolutely amazing and get your anger out, do fucking bowling. Just do it. Make your dreams come true. But that's one of the ways I was able to cope with myself when I was not Yates. Technically Yates and Iroquois. Because I think I started bowling when I was in that area. In Yates Magnet. I'm not 100% sure. But it was either Yates or it was in Iroquois I started. Because that was the best way to get my anger out. Because when I had such a bad hatred on somebody, I know this is sick-minded and horrible to think this way. I know, I'm probably too loud for you guys. I'm sorry, headphone users. But, technically, I thought of the pins as the person I hated the most. And that's the best way to do it. It might be horrible to give you guys this kind of experience and things in your mind to think about. But bowling, if you really truly wanted to do something without going to football and thinking of the person that you're going to tackle, use the goddamn bowling ball. Grab a bowling ball that's meant for your power. Bowl that motherfucking ball down the road. Technically, I consider it a road because if you were to think of the lane as the road, you would think of it, the bowling ball, as the actual car, and the pins as the person you're wanting to hit. But if you want to think of it just as bowling, think of the ball as you, throw it down the lane, think of the pins as the person you're going to hit. By all means, go for it. That's how I thought of it. When I had a lot of anger on my father, sadly, Griff, I'm sorry, but a lot of these times in the past, I actually thought of the pins as you. I thought I heard somebody. Ignore this stuff over here, guys. Ignore this stuff. You know what? There you go. Now you can't see it. So, from there, when I was in Iroquois Middle, I was there in that room every single day. I was in that padded room every single day, screaming my head off, and I was just, sadly, I was enjoying myself a little bit because it was the first time I was able to get my anger out without actually having to punch a wall. And I was able to just tell my teacher that I wanted to go into that room and just let my anger out, honestly. And when I went from there, I forgot what the person was, but the actual counselor I had was absolutely amazing. I wish I remembered the guy's name, but he was amazing. I could say anything, absolutely anything to that guy, and he would not say a single word to my teachers if I said not to. So, I'm just gonna skip half of that story because that story was probably one of the worst, and I really don't want to go through too much. You guys know the backstory on me. I'm not gonna explain it. I wish I didn't have to explain it at all. But I've said some stuff in my streams that you guys should know about. That's why I have my moderators explain some stuff as well. But let's go from middle school now to middle school / high school. Because I went from the year that I was supposed to stay in Iroquois Middle School, I had to move my area because of my father's job. I think it was. Either that or we just couldn't afford the house anymore, or we just didn't want to deal with the bullcrap anymore, and we just moved on. I think it was definitely my father's job because he wasn't getting too much, and he stuck with the same job, guys. He stuck with the same job, but I think it was because of the income he was getting out of his paycheck. I'm not 100% sure. They didn't explain nothing to me because I was absolutely destroyed because everybody I made in the actual classroom I was in, because I learned everything in one room. To where I went from there to an area that I wish I didn't have to go to, which was Mechanicville High School. If you guys want to know some more backstories on Mechanicville High School, look back in my channel because I explained a lot of bullcrap I had to deal with them. I've had to deal with so much because of this right here. I'm going to explain it right now because I'm dealing with stuff still. Not really still, but I'm still thinking about it and it's frustrating me sometimes. But I get over it. I absolutely get over it. But I'm going to explain everything in detail now. Now that I'm doing this right here, right now, here we go. This is what it is. Mechanicville High School was the worst school I have ever gone to. Unless, well, technically second worst. Because I think the worst school I've ever gone to was Elmer Ave, which is the one I explained like a few minutes ago. So, here we go. Mechanicville High School. What caused me to go absolutely insane to the point where they kicked me out of Mechanicville High School. And guess what? Every single day, beyond a day, I was there for a year and a half. I was there for literally a year and a half because I made it from the last year of middle school to halfway through high school. And guess what, guys? The thing that caused me to... The thing that caused me to go from... Come on, focus. There we go. Let's try this again. The thing that caused me to go to BOCES was the first year of high school. Because when I was in Mechanicville High School, oh my God. This is what... I can't stop saying it. Because the reason why I'm doing this so much already is because this is what got me to where I am now. The last year of Mechanicville High School, I blew up on all my teachers every single day because I wasn't getting help. My mind right here was saying to me, Thomas, or what you guys think is Rage Quit, AL, Rage Quit, you need to get help. So I'm going to help you. And this is where it caused me to get the name Rage Quit. Ready? Hold on, let me scratch my eyeball. I'm going to make you blow up slam the goddamn door, just go and go, wham! Top of the morning to you guys. Every single morning. Think of Jacksepticeye on crack. Think of Jacksepticeye on crack every morning. He would be like, top of the morning to ya! I'm sorry, headphone users. He would slam the door behind them and say, I'm sick and tired of your bullcrap. And it lasted all the way up until about maybe December. Before Christmas. Because after Christmas, they were like, because technically they knew me by Thomas. They're like, Thomas, I'm sorry, but you're going to be going to special education again. Because the thing that I skipped was when I went from the year that I was in there without blowing up. The first half, I went from special education back to special education again, and they found out that I was too smart for them. I was too smart for special education, guys. Because when I was in there was a whole bunch of people. There was Haley that I still go to special education, special Olympics with her. And I'm sad to say that I wish she wasn't in there still, because I think she's still there. And if she is, I'm truly sorry. I'm truly sorry, buddy. I really am. But if you're not, I'm truly proud of you. I'm really proud of you. Because I feel like you're smart. You are absolutely smart. And I am truly proud of you if you made it out of there alive. So, when there was like Haley, there was this other guy named I'm not even gonna say names because it's technically against the rules for me to use actual names. But I only used Haley because I knew her and she would love it if I was to say that I was proud of her. So technically I had like about 10, maybe 13 people in my classroom. And think of this thing right here. Think of this thing as a piece of paper. They would get a packet about that thick. About 15 pages of like math and science and social studies. Maybe not social studies. Maybe just math and science and a little bit of not algebra. English. And I would just go I'll just keep going through it, and I'll get like 100% on all the papers. And for some odd reason, they're like, Thomas, we're bringing you from special education to mainstream. I'm like, what? I walk into the building the next day after I'm done, like probably halfway through the school year, and they throw me into mainstream because I was too smart. And I made it through the half of the year. And for some freaking reason, guess what? The next year after that, that's where all the incidents happened. And then that I made it from halfway through the first year to halfway through the first half of the year the next year. And guess what? I make this a joke every single time I think about this. Because, guys, guess what? Today is April 3rd. The same date that I found out that I was going to BOCES. On April 27th of 2014, I believe. Hold on. Let me check the math. Hold on. Because I graduated last year, okay? 6 years before that. Let's go and check. Alright? So, 2017. So, June 2017 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, I miscounted. I didn't really check this because I keep forgetting about it anyways, so just give me a second. So I was there for 6 years. So I was there since the first day, technically the first year, or the last year of high school. Well, first, how do I say it? April of the first year of high school to the last year that I was there, which was after senior year, because I graduated on senior year because they kept pushing me through. But then I went back for my GED, so that equals another year. So, freshman, sophomore. I actually don't remember all the years. I know there was 4 years. Then there was that one. How many years are in the high school year? I don't remember. I know I was there for 6 years. So it was either 2011 or 2012 that I was there until 2017. So either way, I was there for a long period of time. And for 3 years, guys, 3 years. I've explained this numerous of times. For freaking 3 years, I blew up every goddamn day that I was in school. I'm not kidding. 3 goddamn years. I never got bored of it. And then eventually I felt really bad for myself the next day after. I was like, you know what, I need to stop. If I'm gonna ever get back to Mechanicville, because they threw in, for some reason, Mechanicville was able to maintain me by saying, Thomas, if you stop, we'll take you back. And guess what? In my mind, it was like, are you kidding me? You're actually going to take me back? And they never responded back. But after they said that the first time, it told me if I was to stop doing my bullcrap, because they found out that I really wanted to go back. But guess what? I was never able to go back. Never. Never ever. And I'm like, I felt destroyed. But it never triggered me to go back to the way I was. And for some odd reason, I went from there's this place called TSP. And I really felt like my teachers were there for me. And I went from TSP for 3 years. That 4th year, I was still in TSP. But they were like, Thomas, if you're able to make it to Merit, because there was this Merit thing. Technically, it was called Boys Town. I've explained this a lot in the past. But you can go from, I'm going to try using the actual camera. So if you were to go from right here, think of this as this area as the first part of Boys Town. It's kind of like having a job. Nobody thought of it this way, but I'm going to get there. If you were to use the actual Boys Town system, actually, you know what? Think of this as the first phase. Because the packet is actually as big as this, in a way. About halfway. But if you were to go from right here, this piece right here, this was daily. Then if you were to go here, you take away about half of what you're going to do. You're on progress. Then you got merit. Then you got merit off card. So now that I'm there, now that I'm in that phase of saying, I can actually get myself off a daily so I don't have to write down all my points and stuff like this. Because every single day I would get myself an office referral, which you would have to open up the packet, write down that you have this freaking negative 10,000, 5,000, and then 10,000. No, sorry, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, which equals 16,000 points. Taken away immediately. Which technically counts as 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out on a job. It's trying to teach you the whole system of banking and having a job. Because if you lose your opportunity of having yourself on progress instead of daily, right here, you're on progress. You get yourself one warning. You get one office referral. You got about 2 weeks to redeem yourself. Or if you get another office referral, you have to drop back down to daily. On progress, you got yourself a check to say, okay, you got your points on this time. Then you got yourself on the back, you got to put down plus or minus. Meaning you didn't learn or earned what you got, or you earned what you got. Now, guess what? If you're on merit, it means that you can go on your own around the building, wherever you want to go. Like if you want to go for a walk or get yourself some water from the water fountain. I'm going to get there. This might be a little longer than an hour, but I want to get down to this because this is where everything came into place. This is the phase of where I am to today. So, being on merit, like I said, you can go on a walk by yourself. You can go get your drink from the water fountain and stuff like that. And now there's this thing all the way over here that's hidden. Right here. I'm just going to put this right here. You got this little hidden box. This little hidden box. It's not really a box, but I'm just saying. Think of it as a box that's just like okay, think of it as a loot crate. You got this little loot crate just hidden over in the side that nobody knows about until you're on merit. But guess what? I'll get there. When you're on merit, just a regular merit, instead of merit off card, if you're on merit, all you have to do is write down the initials of every single class you have. And then all you have to do is get yourself signed by your teacher that you got whatever you need on that slip. Well, if you make it entirely, but every single time from daily to progress to merit, you have to get 100 bonds. To go back on it, if you get kicked off, you got to get another 25 to 50. I forgot if it was 25 or 50. It was one or the other. I know that. Because I was always confused because everybody kept changing the fucking rules. Every single time. And then once I got on off card, everything changed again. Because they had to change the Boys Town rules. So I'm kind of glad I got all the way up here instead of all the way down here. So, now, this is where everything got all screwy. So for the 3 years that I was blowing up, this is why I was considered rage quit again. Because every single time my teacher was able to say, Thomas, I was always standing up, all over here, my chair was right here. I was always like, yes? Can you please sit down? What do you mean by sit down? I am sitting down. I was always a freaking smart aleck. Because I always had a rivalry with my main teacher, which was Mrs. V, which is still, to today, it always will be, my number 5 in my list. Maybe number 3. I'm debating. I'm going to just say this right now. Mrs. V is my number 3 on my list. Because, watch this. Ready? I will warn you. You might want to turn down this because I'm going to actually show you what I did on a daily basis. So, you see that door over there, right? Ignore the trash. You know what? Actually, no. So, see this door right here? I used to go like this. I wasn't really just closing it. It used to be a freaking wooden door, like an actual wooden door you would see on a normal high school. Like, it's double doored, and then you got the freaking clank and clank, clank, clank. Well, I would close it like this, and it would just slam it as hard as I could on a daily basis. And that's what caused me to get the office referral, and then they ended up just giving up. Instead of a freaking office referral, they ended up just calling my parents. Honestly. God damn it. I wish I didn't do that. But yeah, they would end up calling my freaking parents at high school. Literally, at a high school, they would call your freaking parents. If you were on a daily basis flipping out. Now, I would go from the slamming of the door twice because I was normally flipping out on my teacher, Mrs. V. And this is where my trust and everything happened after this next story. So I went from going from slamming just doors to where I would grab the heaviest table. I was so furious. I had to use one fucking hand. I used one goddamn hand and went, whoosh! That's exactly what it would sound like. I really wouldn't sound like that, but I'm saying you would literally hear a whoosh on a heavy-ass table. That's what it would sound like. Now, and because they told me to stop with the flipping of the table, they didn't care about the door. They cared about the table more. And I would go to my, technically, it's kind of like a counselor kind of thing. But it was where you would do your office referral and stuff like that. Mr. Hankey and Miss Monroe. Absolutely amazing. They would never give up on me, guys. They would never give up on me. I don't know why, but everybody had that. Like, all these other students, there was like 20, 30 different freaking students that they could even test on or try to fix. And they were all like, think of a high school. A normal high school, like Mechanical High School. I know you guys won't know goddamn nothing from there. But think of Mechanical High School, like a normal average high school that you would normally go to. Where everybody was like, oh yeah. Like a normal average teenager, right? Well, that's what they were. But they had needs. But they weren't like, I don't want to make fun of people who need needs, but they would make noises and stuff like that. That kind of thing. That's not what I'm talking about. No. Kind of like one of those gangster kind of people that think that they're cool and stuff like that. On a daily basis. But they would end up being like, I don't want to do this. This is bull. We shouldn't be doing this. We're in special ed. Like, they were making fun of special ed. That kind of special ed education kind of thing. Like, it was... I don't know. I don't know how to explain it because you guys weren't there. But they have all these other students they could try to fix. But they were always after me. Why me? I had a problem with anger while these other students could have gotten helped. Or help. They could have gotten help. I don't get why you guys chose me. I get that, yeah, you might see me now the way I am if it wasn't for you guys. But why did you choose me over like 30, 40 different people that you could have chose? You kept telling me. I'm actually thinking that these people are actually watching this right now. So I'm acting like they are. But I just don't understand. Especially Mrs. V. Mrs. V she just never gave up. She tried and tried and tried other students to see if she could fix them. But I had such a horrible rivalry with her that she ended up she kept pushing me. Like, think of, okay, think of a fork, okay? Think of a fork and just jabbing it in somebody's back and keeping that fork there. Grab another fork the next day and just stab the next person in the back. She just never gave up. She just never, ever, ever gave up. She just kept stabbing forks in my back. Not really stabbing forks in my back, but you guys know what I mean, right? She just didn't want to see me fail. As much as that, I just never learned the material I needed for a Regents. Technically a final. If you guys don't know what a Regents is, it's technically like a final that has, for example, algebra, geometry. Like, it would go, different grades would do different stuff after the first year of high school. So, it'll be algebra for the first year. So, algebra, living environment 1, because there's 2 years of it. You gotta do the first year. And then the next year will be another one again. Technically, you do living environment 1, the first year in algebra, because they do 2 years of those. Then when you do Algebra 2 and Living Environment 2, including World History, that's another 2 years. So you would do all 3 of those in 1 year. And then you would do Geometry. Technically, for some reason, I didn't do another year of Science. I don't know why. But I took Living Environment 1 twice. So I was far behind everybody else. I don't know why they were such a D-bag to me, but they weren't really D-bags, but I'm just saying the state. Because for some reason they threw in another year of Living Environment 1. Because I never received the next year of Science, where I was supposed to do a Regents on Earth Science. I'm pretty certain there was a Regents on that. You guys can check it for me and let me know. But I'm pretty damn certain there was a Earth Science Regents. But I don't know. I really don't know. But there was Geometry, U.S. History, or wherever you are, if you have one. I don't know if across the ocean and like Germany and all that have Regents, but technically, if they had a final, they'll do whatever they're at instead of U.S. U.S. History is for here. You would have Geometry, U.S. History, and English. You would have also English. Also, the next year, I'm sorry. I forgot about something. It was Geometry and whatever Science one you would be doing. But the next year after that, you only have 2 more to do. The most easiest ones to do. But if you were where I was, if you didn't pass them, they would push you to the next year, and you would have to do everything all over again in a AIS class. They would have to find a way to put it in there. But the problem with that is you would have, if you were stuck in senior year, because senior year, if you didn't have any more regions to do, all you would have is, for regions, was English and economics. But guess what? I was the only goddamn student in the goddamn freaking thing in the entire program out of 30 or 40 different students. I was the only person in senior year that had to do every single goddamn freaking regions except for one. And guess which one that was? Algebra. Because I passed it the second year that I had algebra. By one goddamn point. I didn't get a high school diploma point, but I got I passed kind of point. Because you can get a 55 or you can get a 65. I got a 56 on my algebra. But that's because I was too dumb. My mindset was too stupid to stop my shit and didn't just learn. But once I hit the 4th year of being there, I ended up finally stopping my crap because my teacher really wanted to help me and got myself to stop. Because my mind was saying that I'm being yelled at too much and I just need to stop. And I finally just tried to learn as much as I could, but my teacher thought I was just trying to get away. And just kept on pushing me. And I was trying to learn so much stuff, knowing that I had so much AIS, so much regions I still need to pick up. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I was to the point I just wanted to drop out, guys. That's how bad I was. But I realized my parents wanted me to try my best as far as I could go. And just go with it. Even if I didn't pass the regions, they were proud enough for me to just get to senior year and go with it. They tried my best to just get me just to graduate as a freaking CDOS. And that's pretty much all they did. And the CDOS is just work-ready papers. Kind of like a diploma for just a job, though. An actual high school diploma, GED diploma, or even just anything. High school or a GED is the only way you're able to go to college. And I realized after I graduated with a CDOS, I really didn't want to just graduate with something when my parents and everybody else had so much faith in me. I just wanted to I'm literally crying. I told myself I wanted to do this without crying too. I just wanted to just go back again one last time because I had the opportunity to do it without having to pay for it. Knowing that I tried my best as far as I could go. Knowing that I had so many freaking tests I had to do. I felt like I was actually accomplishing something after I got to senior year out of freaking TSP and also all the way up into the high school end of BOCES. I felt like I could just go one more time. I was stuck in school to work, which is technically how I got my CDOS. I was the fastest growing person in that program that I actually got through it in 1 year. I don't know how, but I ended up graduating School of the Work within just 1 year of being there, because I wasn't able to do. I started with I did trade, kind of like college kind of stuff, but it really wasn't college. It was technically still college related, but I ended up going from there to School of Work because it was just too frustrating on me, knowing that I was in senior year with so much crap on me already. And when I went there, I got my CDOS, and I graduated, and like I said, I wanted to go back. Because I felt like, because they were like, Thomas, there's no freaking way you're going to get that in 1 year. Because guess what? Everybody in the fucking high school of Mechanicville High literally wasn't able to even receive an actual diploma of GED until the second goddamn year. And guess what? I was able to get it on my first try. I may have failed the pre-test a lot, but guess what? I got my CDOS, and I got my mother freaking technically a high school diploma, even though it was a GED diploma. It's technically the same thing. I was able to get it on my first shot, but I failed the pre-test a lot. But at the very end of the year, I was able to do the test, and I got it. But I still feel like I really want to do college just to give it a shot, but I don't want to waste money. I really don't. Because my parents really, really want me to be the first one to graduate college in my family. But knowing that I couldn't even handle freaking GED, the problem with that was my grandmother. Oh my fucking god! My grandmother and Spike both passed away in that year. And that's really what pushed me to try my best. It really did. I didn't want to give up on them. As much as that I promised my grandmother, if she was to even get anywhere close to passing away, I would try my best to pass that goddamn test. Even it got me to even pay for another year. I didn't care. I wanted to get something, knowing that some of my family members ended up just stopping themselves from even finishing high school. My father ended up going to almost, technically he pushed himself all the way to 21 high school. My mother graduated. Even my father also graduated, but both of them graduated. I don't remember my uncle, but what he got. But technically, I felt like if I was to not get a high school diploma, I would feel like crap. I really would. I would have let my grandmother down, and I would have let my cat down. Both of them meant a lot to me, and I didn't want to give them a reason to hate me up in heaven. And that's what really pushed me to do my best. Also, this person here up in the this person's always in my videos now. Right there. That person right there is my mother's mother. And I was never a men's boy. I know. You guys think of the other way. It's okay. I'm a papa's boy. I'm a papa's boy. And that's another person who I always spoke to when I was down in the dumps. But I really didn't want to let anybody down. If I did, I would have let almost anybody down in that case. I would have let you guys down. I would have let myself down. I would have let my parents down. I would have let everybody in my family down, including my friends. Even as much as they knew that I was struggling, I really didn't want to let them down. And as well as another thing that really got me motivated was the growth of my channel. That's really what got me going. That was one of the biggest things of my accomplishments of last year. Hitting my channel at 150. Not really 150, but you know what I mean. Actually, yeah, 150. I forgot about that. I actually hit 150 last year in summer. Because of streams. I actually started streaming before I started streaming Mega Maker. I think it was 100 I hit in summer last year. And then once I started doing Mega Maker, I hit 150 the ending of December, and then I hit, meaning the year that my December of 2017 I hit 150. And then now that we're in April, I am so happy that you guys helped me out at getting almost technically 210. I'm at 204. I'm considering it technically 205 right before my birthday. My birthday is technically in 22 days. It's on April 25th, guys. If you want to say happy birthday to me on that day. I may not do anything on my birthday, but if I do anything on my birthday, it'll be a stream. It'll be a birthday stream. I actually might do, if I can find that goddamn iPad, I might stream my my party at the bowling alley on that day if you guys want to join. If anything, I'll do it off my phone again. Alright? So, I really don't want to go any further because if I do, I'll end up bawling my eyes out. But I know this may not sound like a crazy life, but it's probably the roughest life I've ever heard of up to now. Is as of in my family and my friends. Except for my girlfriend and John, it's probably one of the toughest ones I've ever heard of. But there's a lot of people who have worst things I've ever heard of. You guys know some stuff that's happened in the past as well in my life. I just don't want to say it on this. But you guys know exactly what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what it is, but you guys still mean the world to me, no matter what happens. We're a family, as much as we aren't. We're technically a YouTube family, guys. Everybody has some kind of disability. It's one way or another. Everybody thinks that they don't, but technically, everybody has something. Doesn't matter who you are. You have a goddamn disability one way or another. Depression is technically one of them. Anxiety. Everybody has some kind of anxiety. You may not look like it, you may not feel like it, but if you have some kind of feeling that you feel like you cannot do something, that's considered anxiety. If you're hyperactive, that's anxiety. Depression causes anxiety. I'm pretty certain because that's how I was able to obtain that. I have anxiety. I take meds for almost everything I have. I should know some stuff. But here's the last part. This is what I'm going to talk about next week. Okay? This is what I'm going to talk about next week. What you can do. What you guys can do to help somebody who needs help. Biggest thing, if somebody has a seizure, do not help. I repeat, do not help. Or else it'll make everything worse. I'm pretty certain everybody knows that. But if you didn't know, now you do. That's the biggest thing when it comes to somebody. Do not help somebody who is having a seizure. Alright? That's my key. So, we actually hit 1 hour. So, whoever made it fully through without having to take a break, thank you. As well as if anybody finished this one way or another, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you guys not tomorrow because I have an interview and I won't be able to do anything. But if I do make anything, it'll be late in the night. And it'll be a stream, okay? But if I do not, I'll make it up Thursday night. Alright? I'll make it up Thursday night. And I don't know. Let's just see what happens, okay, guys? Let's just see what happens. Wish me luck on my interview. And hopefully I get another job. I'm pumped. Because the person knows how I work. So I might have a good opportunity. But let's just see. So, thank you guys so much for watching one way or another. And I'm hoping you guys are having a great life. It doesn't matter if it's decent, bad, or good. At least you're alive. If you are alive, doesn't matter if you're moving now, wanting to fight somebody in a war, doesn't fucking matter. Just be grateful. Just be grateful that you're alive. You could be mentally alive and not being able to move. You could be anything else. Honestly. You could even be a fucking cat or a panda if you really wanted to. All you gotta do is act like one. Not saying you should. Not saying you should. But you can be a cat, panda, freaking chair if you wanted to, or you could be even a doorknob if you really wanted to. But doesn't freaking matter. Doesn't matter. Just be grateful that you're alive. Make sure you don't judge anybody by the looks of of what they are. And I'm still sorry that I'm not wearing my blue. It's still not done. But like I said, just be grateful. Just be grateful that the person's there for you. Normally, people who have disabilities normally want to help other people who have them. Not saying you should. I'm talking about the wall. But either way, guys, it doesn't matter. You just need to help people. You need to help anybody. If somebody's down, you need to help them. If somebody freaking falls to the floor, you help them up. Doesn't matter if you don't want to touch another male's freaking hand. Help them up. What if they freaking broke their leg? Help them up. Help them to their car. Help them to their house if they're across the street from their house. Help an old lady if you really wanted to. What if that old lady has money? What if you help that person across the street, do you think they're going to give you money? Maybe. But you probably wouldn't even notice that that person probably would give you like a few dollars for helping them across the street, for being generous. I've helped some freaking old lady across the street and she gave me $2. So, my grandmother that just got out of the hospital. I know, I'm driving right now, but I'm trying to explain. If you help somebody across the street or whatever, it doesn't matter. technically, I'm going to go back to my grandmother really quick. My grandmother, not the great-grandmother that you guys know that I just talked about, the one that passed away on Halloween of 2 years ago. My grandmother that I talked about before, she just got out of the hospital. She sprained her neck, she has a concussion in her head, and she broke her fucking wrist, including her arm. I think it was her wrist. Either way, she broke something in her arm. I went there for Easter, and it ended up being a freaking ham, and I had to help her with a whole bunch of stuff. She was grateful for it. She would never expect me to do that, now that I'm hating on her right now, and she feels like crap because I do. But I'm truly sorry for that, Grandma, but there's just been so much stuff that's been going on with you that I just don't want to hear anymore. I feel bad for saying that, but there's just so much. You just need to just let it go. But either way, I'm now done jibber jabbering. Now I'm actually going to do the true outro. So, thank you guys so much for watching. One way or another, I want to fight you. I want to get you. But either way, I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow, but if not, Thursday night. Alright? Rage Quit. Out of here.